What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Misfit Lawyer, coming back at you one more again with a big what's up. What you guys been doing out there? I've been out here in Florida training, trying to show these Gators how it's done. I thank you all for the birthday wishes. All of the for you guys that came down to Florida and celebrated my birthday with me. Thank you so much. It's been a great birthday. You guys know I celebrate my birthday for the entire month. So thank you so much. So you know how we're gonna start this show off, guys. You know I can't start this show off without saying one. We have some great guests on. We have some tennis players on, some student tennis players on, in a recognition of the U.S. Open. And we also have a great entrepreneur on with us that we're going to talk to a little bit later. But before we get started, I got to talk about this Cam Newton and Mac Jones situation here. If you know the rivalry, we got Alabama versus Auburn. We got Cam Newton, Auburn is what we call it. And then we got we got Mac Jones coming in at Bama on the New England Patriots. And there's this big, huge deal about whether or not, it was Mac Jones should start as a rook. So let me just say, I'm tired of all the back and forth. Everybody knows I'm a huge Bama fan, and I am so excited for Mac Jones. I think he deserves to start. I think he's a hard player. I've been watching him since he was third string on the bench. Okay. This guy works hard. He's already gained the trust from his team. And I want to just give you guys a few pointers, a few tips on why he's starting. So let's start with the fact that Mac Jones finished this preseason as undefeated, right? He took his team to an undefeated preseason, through an undefeated preseason. The stat line, okay? He has 36 completions on 52 attempts, or a 69% pass completion rate, along with one passing touchdown, no interceptions or fumbles, and a 97.3 quarterback rating. He threw for an average of 7.5 yards per attempt and was sacked 5 times. According to the Pro Football Focus, Jones had the highest PFF grade among rookie quarterbacks, finishing with a score of 92.2. That's ahead of New York Jets' Jack Wilson, who is at 85.7, Jacksonville Jaguars' Trevor Lawrence, who's at 78.3, and Chicago Bears' Justin Fields, who's 67.6, and San Francisco 49ers' Trey Lance at 56.7. Now, he's outperformed some very big names there. And, I'm going to end it there. If he's good, he's good. Sorry, Cam. Guess you got to go back to Auburn. Roll Tide. So now that we got through that, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in New York. So we got the U.S. Open out in New York. And so this will be the first time, guys, since I think it's 1984. It's going to be the first time, the first major since 1997. Sorry about that. Without one of the Williams sisters, without Federer or Nadal. Okay? So who are we looking at? We're watching Naomi Osaka. We're watching Ashley Barty. We're watching Bianca Andreescu. And we're also watching Miss Sabalenka. So here, let me give you guys a little nugget. So I always tell you what's good. Here's what's good. Here's something that's good. The U.S. Open's prize pot is the largest of tennis's Grand Slam. And thanks to Billie Jean King in 1973, it became the first major event to award the same prize money to men and women. So that's what's good. Thank you, Billie Jean King. So this year's purse, listen to this, guys. This year's purse is a record $57.5 million. Sorry, I'm going to give this to I have the door open. It's okay. Going by. So this year's prize purse is a record $57.5 million, with the singles winners walking home with $2.5 million. And that's what's good. should have went into tennis, not football, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna bring in our first guest. Our first guest. These two ballers are hot. They're sisters and brothers. There's Jackson, who's the oldest, I think, 13, and then there's MacKenzie, who's 10. They both play tennis, and their father is on with them. I'm going to bring them on. Where you got some? There you are.
Hey,
Hi
good
guys,
evening.
how are you?
It's fun. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Happy
So,
birthday. Happy birthday.
thank you.
All
Thank you.
right.
I celebrate the whole month. So,
As well you should. As
unfortunately,
well you
today is
should.
September 1st. So, my birthday month is over, but that's okay.
It's all
I
good.
can do 2 months this year, right?
Here you go.
So, Daryl Baker, you're the father of these two gorgeous kids.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, Mackenzie and Jackson, do you want to introduce yourselves and tell us what school you go to and what sport you're playing?
Okay, I'm Jackson, and I go to Brooks Middle School in Oak Park, and I play tennis.
Mackenzie?
I am MacKenzie and I go to Hatch. I'm in fifth grade and I play track, tennis, and basketball.
You're a triathlete.
Absolutely.
We didn't know that,
Yeah, I know.
Dad.
And I'm living through both of them, so I didn't play any sports at
Are you
all.
so how did you get into three sports? And Jackson, you're only a tennis player, or do you have other sports as well?
So that's a great question.
Well, I used to play basketball, but then I just started sticking to tennis. So,
Okay. All right. Well, hey, that's okay. Mackenzie, tell us a little bit about your sports. You play basketball, tennis, and track. You run
Yes,
track.
yes.
What do you do on track in track and field? Are you a
I
sprinter or
I run. I don't do any field events.
okay?
So I run the 400, the 200, and the 100.
Okay, okay. And so, which sport do you like best? Tennis, track, or basketball?
Another great question.
Tennis.
Tennis.
Mhm.
So, are you going to be like your brother and just pick up tennis and leave the others out?
No.
No. All right. So, Mackenzie, why did you choose? Why did you choose tennis,
Um,
basketball, and track? I guess.
I choose track because I like running, and people tell me that I'm really fast, so I should do track. Tennis, I like that because I like the rush of just hitting the bar as hard as I can. In basketball, I just like it. I don't really know
You
what to
just like
say.
it. What position do you play in basketball?
Well, I don't do a travel league. I just do like park district, so we don't really have positions.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's okay. You can just play all the positions. That's fine too. Like, what about you, Jackson? And what made you stop playing other sports and just play tennis?
well, because I feel like I wanted to take tennis more seriously because,
Okay.
um, yeah, and the reason I like tennis a lot is because I like being able to depend on me, and like with other sports it's like group sports, and it's like you have a whole bunch of teammates, but in tennis it's just you, so you can depend on yourself, and you like it's not as much like um, pressure and
Okay.
stuff.
So do you compete? Do you guys compete at tennis?
Yeah, I do UTR tournaments, so I like to
Okay.
play random people, and yeah.
Okay. And did how old are you guys? I didn't ask how old you were. How old are you, Jackson?
I'm 13.
You're
I'm 10.
13 and you're 10, right? So I was right. I just wanted to make sure I was right when I introduced you. Okay. And so you guys authored a book, and Dad, you illustrated it, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here it is.
And So guys, I usually have the book and I can tell you all about it, but for some reason it hadn't been delivered yet, but I will get it, read it, and of course I will promote it on my show and on social media. So whose idea was it to write a book? Whose idea was it to write this book?
Our dad.
Your dad. Dad, what made you want to do a book about the 25 most, what is it, the 25 most influential tennis players, past and present?
Absolutely. So again, during COVID, we had a lot of time to ourselves, right? Kind of locked down,
Yes.
to do. So we use the time to get our creativity out, right? So I just picked up tennis recently. I want to say within the past 3 years, within the past year or so from MacKenzie, and I play as well. I'm not very good, but again,
Okay.
I play. So, but again, we picked up the sport. I picked up an interest in it, and I wanted to learn more about the Black players because, again, if you watch tennis, there's not a lot of Black players on a regular basis. So we want to learn about those in the past as well. So we use that time during COVID to kind of research. I'm an artist, not professionally, but again, as a hobby. So I wanted to get that creativity out as far as being an artist. So I use that time to just create and draw it while they did the research, right? So they did the research on the players, learn about their records. In the book itself, again, it's a coloring book as well as an activity book. So it has word searches, different word scrambles, what have you, rules to the game. So it's designed to give kids something to do coloring wise and then learn about the sport at the same time. So again,
so you have some information in there about how the rules of the sport or just how to play it in general.
Absolutely. I mean, it's designed for the novice as well as those that are into the sport and know the sport. So it's kind of a mixed bag, kind of all ages, really, when you think about it. So I mean, some adults have purchased it and said, "Hey, this is awesome. I love it." So it's just a matter of your interest, So
I like to color too, so I'm definitely I bought two.
It's relaxing. Right? Absolutely.
Okay, and where can we buy this book? Where can we find these books?
So it's currently on Amazon, and as MacKenzie mentioned, we're based in Oak Park, Illinois. So we have some local bookstores here that we're supporting. So we have a few books there, and we're looking online as well. So we're looking to get into some other African American bookstores that have an online presence and just kind of cast a wide net and get out there as best we can. So I didn't mention too, we are donating some of the proceeds of the book to a local organization. We made a connection through USTA. A young lady, a good friend of mine, Leah Friedman, she's the outreach development person there, leader there, and she connected me with the ACE project. It's based in Riverdale, Illinois. They have 3 locations: Riverdale, Detroit, and Baltimore, and they work with kids after school, and they teach them tennis. Right. So the hope is that we can contribute some of our proceeds there, as well as have the young fella here train and work with some of the younger kids, so that get them practice for being a coach and a trainer. So that's the hope.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. So you've made a connection with this organization, and you're giving a portion of the proceeds from the sales of the book to this organization, which is helping kids to learn tennis, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. That is awesome. Love to hear that. But so MacKenzie and Jackson, are you guys watching the Open?
Yes, we are.
You are? Who are you following? What tennis players are you following? Who do you like?
Naomi, Felix, Raffo, Madison, Coco, Sloane, and yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. You know your stuff. What about you, Jackson? Who are you following?
Francis Tiafoe, Felix, Novak Djokovic. And
okay.
So we were just at the Western and Southern Open in Cincinnati, and she got a chance to meet, both of them met Coco and got a photo. So that was
wow,
the highlight of the summer, to meet one of their idols, directly. So
was that exciting?
Coco, they're like twins almost, right? So, and he met Felix in previous years. So, yeah.
I'm sure that was exciting. There was a tennis, Black women's tennis event in Chicago just recently. Did you get a chance to attend that?
We missed that, and there's a backstory why we missed it. I won't say it on this podcast, but yeah, we missed that. But definitely, it was in our backyard. They trained at that facility, Excess in Chicago. They know the trainer of the owner pretty well. So yeah, it's a small tennis community in Chicago. We're trying to get plugged into it, so we're well on our way.
Right. So, do you know if they're going to continue that each year? Now,
my understanding, yes, it's one of the first times they've done it. So I think it's going to get bigger and grow. I mean, Venus played, which was like a big draw to have her there. She didn't win the first round, but she was there. She brought out a big crowd. So from what I hear, so hopefully they have.
Yeah, I hate you missed it. I wasn't there. I was like, what?
Sure.
I didn't know. I didn't even find out it was going on until the day before.
Yeah.
So
Perfect weather. Was
I
great.
hate I missed it. Yeah. Well, Dad, is there anything else you want to tell us about these awesome kids before we get off, move on to the next guest? Anything you want to tell us about the book? Any more donations? Anything you want to
Well, the
leave
last
us
thing I'll
with?
say is I'm super proud of them, right? I mean, this was a big deal. I mean, obviously I drove it as a parent. My wife as well was involved, but again,
Mhm.
they led the charge creatively. Just seeing the process from idea to execution, it was pretty cool just to watch. And
Yeah.
this was a precursor for what's to come for them, right? I mean, they're going to be bigger and better than I ever dreamed of. So this small project is just a small thing that's going to kind of propel them forward. I'm assuming. So that's the ultimate goal, at least, you know. So.
Okay, and Dad, you know I have to ask this. I always ask this. You tell us three things that you think that you've instilled in your kids that make them successful as they are. I mean, because they are successful. I mean, they've written a book at the age of 13 and 10. I mean, you
So
got them to sit down for long enough for that. So
sure,
tell us
sure,
what you
sure.
do.
Um, on the spot, but I'll come up with three that are pretty solid.
That's
So again, be creative, right? I mean, I think just get your creative energy out. I think it is a lot to be said about kids that have some creativity, right? And that can express themselves in different ways. And be kind, right? I mean, in this day and age, I mean, people are so mean with social media and the bullying. I tell
Yeah.
them just be nice, right? I mean, he's talking about his friends and who he hangs out with. I'm like, is she nice? Is he nice? You know, so just be kind to
Okay.
people. And dream big. I mean, just, you know, go bigger. I mean, you know, we,
Yeah.
as kids growing up, you know, we had our traditional ways of being raised in terms of getting the job and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling them be big, go bigger than I ever dreamed of being. So those are my
Yeah.
main advice tips.
Yeah. Follow your dreams. Don't let them go.
Absolutely.
Just dream big and make that dream happen. I
Absolutely.
love that. I love that. All right, Dad, thanks so much. And then before we go,
Thank
are they
you.
on social media? Let me know, let the viewers know how to follow them and watch them play so we can come out and see them.
Yeah. So if you can remember, it's JWB and Co on Instagram. JWB
Okay.
is initials and Co, and
Okay.
Olivia's Creations on Instagram. So
Creations.
yeah, Olivia's Creations. Yeah.
Creations. Okay. When I rerun this, I always post how to follow the guests on IG, and then I'll tag you. I have your Instagram, Dad, and I'll tag the kids, and
Absolutely.
we'll make sure that people know what they're out there doing, what you all are out there doing. Thanks so much. You're doing such a great job. I'm so proud of you guys, and Dad, love what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.
Happy
so much.
birthday.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Oh my goodness, what an awesome interview. I love it when I have the student ballers come on with their parents to give a little bit of insight on what's going on with them in life in general, you know. Dad is making sure he's remaining a part of their life. And they did a project during COVID. I mean, come on. How great is that? How great is that? So thank you again. Daryl is their name. Then we have Daryl Baker, we have MacKenzie Baker and Jackson Baker. Those guys are out there balling. They're showing out. When I repost the video, I'll make sure to add their Instagram tags and you guys follow them because they're doing some big things, guys. And our next guest is awesome as well. We have Kenny Doss II. Kenny Doss, are you there?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I heard a lot of good things about the show.
I'm glad. I'm glad you heard a lot of good things about the show. I heard a lot of good things about you. I heard a lot of good things about you and the things that you're doing out in Chicago. So you want to get started with this interview?
Yeah, looking
Come
forward
on,
to it.
I need some energy. You know, that's my birthday was last week.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. I
I
will.
celebrate the whole month. Unfortunately, today is the 1st of September, so but I just got permission to celebrate for a whole 2 months from the guys the guys I interviewed just now. So
Yeah, keep it
so
going. Keep it going.
Kenny Doss II. You are from Chicago. I know about this, you guys from the Shy,
Yeah.
still you live in the Shy, rep the Shy, all of that. But you were the youngest candidate to run for alderman in the city of Chicago.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Tell us about that. What?
not only was I one of the youngest to run, I was one of the youngest in history to make a political ballot. So it's a whole
Wow.
process, and you got to campaign and you got to get signatures and petitions
Right.
signed. So yeah, I actually made the ballot. It was a cool experience.
I'm
It
sure.
was
How
hard, but
exciting.
it was dope.
It was worth the hard work, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, it really was. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about support, having a great support system, and what it's like to be a team, and just
Mhm.
understanding that whatever it is in life, you got to work for. Like you have to work for it.
So tell me how what kind of experience did came along with that? I mean, you're in the city of Chicago on the ballot, out there campaigning. What kind of obstacles did you run into?
I ran into a lot of obstacles as far as being young, being black, being
Hmm.
it's kind of weird because it was a double-edged sword because I felt like since I was from my community and I
Yeah,
was a victim of the system, who would be better to fix it and to help us grow as one. But it was
yes,
like like I said, a double-edged sword because since I look how I look, I got dreads,
right.
I got earrings in my ear, I'm young. A lot of people felt like I couldn't do the job and I wasn't the person for the job. But I feel
Yeah,
like who's better to do it than somebody who really understand what we going through as young black males in our community.
right, right. Especially in the city of Chicago. I mean, you
Yeah.
represent the face of the city. Would you do it again?
You know what? I've been debating going back and forth. It was it was very hard because not only was I running for political office as well, it was my senior year in college. So that was a whole
Okay,
obstacle in itself. So I graduated from Manchester University. So I
okay.
was 2.5, 3 hours away. So I go to class, jump on the road, campaign, knock on doors, go
Wow.
back, study, get up in the
Oh,
morning, take tests. So it was like, so I think that's what kind of, and then like once that whole process was over with, it was like, okay, what do I do now? Just finishing college, don't have a job. And it
right.
kind of like, it was kind of rough to deal with. But now, since I'm more stable now, I probably would do it. I'll probably do it.
Yeah, you go ahead and do it. You have my support, my followers' support. We're gonna get you out there. Kenny, come on. We need
Yeah.
people like you doing that type of work. So let's get over to the sports piece. So you played basketball in high school and college. So you said you were out there pounding the pavement, as they call it, while you were in college. So you were playing sports and doing this as well?
Yeah, so actually, funny story. I went to a bunch of different schools just
Uh-huh.
chasing that basketball dream. And
Okay.
that's actually what kind of led me towards running for alderman, having basketball tournaments. Once I kind of lost my passion, I didn't want the youth in the community to be how I was as far as
Okay.
not understanding that the business aspect of playing sports in college. So that's what made me start doing events in the community. So when I kind of lost that passion, I veered to doing events for the youth, and then that led me into running for political office. So
Right.
that year, I still had a semester to finish because I was going from school to school, and some of my credits didn't transfer over. So
Okay.
I still had a semester to finish.
Well, you didn't lose your passion. You just focused your energy in a
Yeah,
different
yeah, that's exactly
in a
what it
different
was.
way. Yeah, and you know, tell us a little bit about that. So you have a few famous friends, right?
Yeah.
You grew up with Barton Fitzpatrick. That's the guy that was on not
The
Power
the shy,
yeah,
the
the
shy.
Shy, sorry. I was thinking about Power. My sister and I just finished talking about Power. Sorry, the Shy. So how does having that friendship with him help you help the efforts that you're doing right now to change the community?
He helps a lot. He's just
Well,
always there.
before I don't mean to cut you off. Before you get
It's
into
fine.
that, let's talk about what you're doing in the community, and then we'll talk about how his having him as a friend helps. Because I'm just assuming everyone knows what you're doing, but let's talk about what you're doing in the community right now.
Yeah, so what I do, like we said earlier, I ran for political office. I got a
Mhm.
nonprofit called Bridging the Gap Globally, which I have tremendous help from my father and my uncle. And three heads, we put it together to get things done. Three
Mhm.
generations as well of people. So that's why we came up with Bridging the Gap because we try to tackle every age group in our community. And we do events, pretty much anything that's needed. Like I said, it started off with doing basketball tournaments, and then it
Mhm.
led to developing a closer bond with the youth in the community, and they wanted me to help them stand up to stop the schools from being closed in the Inglewood community because that's where I'm from. So they was closing all the schools, and the students trust me. So we went down to CPS. We took a
Okay.
trip to DC, March for Our Lives, just to show them that, we stand with the students of Parkland, Florida, and we understand what they're going through, but we also step over dead bodies in our community every day on our way to and from school. And
Mhm.
if those students have that power to put on a big rally like that, they also have the power and the strength to do it as well. And then that led into doing prom dress drives for the young ladies.
Oh yeah, I've
We
heard of
have,
that. Yeah.
yeah, so just being able to help them. We all know what it was like prom day to look
Yeah.
good. If you look good, you feel
Yeah.
good. So just doing that, book bag drives. Even had an event we had barbers come out and cut the youth hair. Just
That's
whatever it is, fireworks show for Juneteenth, whatever needs to be done in the community is kind of like what I do.
okay. And so, and back to Baron Fitzpatrick, Mr. Fitzpatrick, you guys are friends. So how does having him as a friend help you with what you're doing in the community? Are more doors opening for support or endorsements or anything like that because he's a friend of yours, or do you have a
Yeah,
bigger stage, a bigger voice in this?
I mean, to be honest, I believe in doing the work. So I'm really
Okay.
not looking for a bigger stage or more endorsement. I just believe about doing what needs to be done. And the reason why I really respect him a lot, and he is a great friend is because he encouraged me. With doing work in the community, a lot of people don't understand that there's so many people that lean on me and look for me
Mhm.
to comfort them and be their strength. Wow, he's my strength. He helped me get through rough times and adversity through life. So for us, it's bigger than just endorsements or donating to this event or just coming out to show us face. And we have conversations all the time, and I tell him time for me means more than money. So just by
Right.
you being there and him coming out and playing the kids in a one-on-one, and it's the actor that they see on TV every Sunday on a show that's in their city means
Yeah.
more to them than him spending $10,000 or $20,000 because they don't see that. So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
he's a great friend, and just him coming out and showing up anytime I need him is like
That's great. That's
priceless.
great. It's always good to have that kind of support, someone that you can call up and say, hey, look, sometimes you just need a ear,
Yeah,
somebody to bounce things off ideas or, a sounding board. So that's great. And so you mentioned you grew up in Inglewood, Chicago. So if you guys don't know Inglewood, they have a lot of talented athletes that come out of that neighborhood. So when you're speaking to the youth, and you mentioned how there's a pretty there there's a bit of crime out in that neighborhood as well. So when you're talking to the youth And how are you keeping them focused on what they're doing? How do you keep them? How do you try to, I guess, mentor or move them away from what they're surrounded by every day?
I think the biggest thing is just they understand me and I understand because I understand them. It's not as if I'm talking to them and telling them what to do or how they should do it, but just being
Mhm.
that big brother, just listening and giving them my advice from both sides of the spectrum. And that trust is there because although they're young, they watch my development and my growth. They watch me be, a little older than them, riding bikes in the neighborhood, to
Right,
playing on a basketball courts, to going away to high school,
right,
going away to college, and just so they seen my growth. So it's easier for them to understand
right.
to meet at an eye level because they know I understand what it's like to be from that community.
Right. It's kind of like what you said when you were running for alderman. You felt like, someone coming from Chicago, knowing about the culture would be someone, and someone that's Black, a face that is familiar. You thought it would have been something that the community wanted, but
Yeah,
they
and
didn't, I guess, at that
I
time.
just, yeah, I just try to be what I know I needed as a
Right.
young black male in the Inglewood community growing up, and I know a lot of times when certain people came in and we had conversations, it's easy for them to tell you what you should do when they could go back and sleep comfortable in their communities and their beds, and it's just um, it's not their problem anymore. So I just try to do everything different and be what I needed.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard sometimes, I know, because you don't want them to have to go through those struggles that you did, but then, a lot of times those are the things that made you stronger. So it's hard sometimes. So
Yeah,
I applaud you for that. I think that's great. I think you're doing good with that. So you
thank
are
you.
building a basketball court in Inglewood, right? To give boys and girls a safe and updated space to play the sport. And NBA player Jabari Parker is supporting these efforts, correct?
Yes, yes, he is.
So talk to us about that. How did you guys come up with this idea? What were you just talking one day and you're like, hey, let's rebuild this basketball court? Well, how did this come about?
Yeah, so Jabari, he's another a great friend like Bart. They
Mhm,
keep me grounded, keep me level headed, and keep me pushing. It was times where I wanted to give up, and he just wouldn't let me. So I've been doing events at this court, and one
mhm,
day, earlier this summer, Jabari being Jabari, and
mhm.
remind you, this court is in the middle of Inglewood, 60th and Halsted, like in the middle of everything. He just pulls up in his Cadillac, just come kicking, and he like, man, what happened to the court? Because he helped out as well, passing out book bags and everything like that at other events. So he's
Mhm.
familiar with where it's located. So he just pulled up one day, and one of the rims was missing, the grass was high, due to COVID and everything like that. We was trying to rebuild, and he like, no, we got to put this back together. Whatever you need, I got you. Just make it happen. I want to be a part of it. I want to see the youth in the
Wow.
community go further. And yeah, he kept his word, and we've been working together since, and we trying to put it back on track. We want to
Wow.
eventually give it that Rucker feel. So when you come to
There
Chicago, that's the place you have to come and play.
That's where you gotta go. I'm sure they will. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of talent has come out of that neighborhood, and we all know that. So I'm sure it'll be a very popular spot when people come to visit. And so, how can anyone get involved with this, or is this just a project that you and Jabari are working on?
No,
Personal.
I would actually love for people to come out and help. If people want to help, anyone want to get involved, they could contact me through social media. I'll
Okay.
respond ASAP. We need all
Okay.
the help and hands on deck as we could get. We need everybody. I want this to be something that's for us by us. I know that kind
Right.
of sounds so cheesy and corny, but
No, we're done. I love
it,
it.
yeah,
I love it. I think that's awesome. I really do. And when I get back to Chicago, that's going to be one of the first places I stop by to see, the progress there. And I'm going to hit you up to see on Instagram to see how I can help with this project. And my followers out that are out in Chicago, I'll definitely bring them out too.
yeah,
Some of the football girls that I play with, we try to do community service or just help out in the community. And I think this will be a great project helping out, helping to rebuild this court. So
yeah. I would definitely
I'll definitely
appreciate it.
reach out to you. And
Thank you.
before you give your three nuggets, I want you to tell the viewers how to find you on Instagram and Facebook. Do you have a Facebook page?
Yes, my Facebook is Kenny Doss the second.
Kenny Doss the second. And
Yeah,
then is it the letter, wait, Kenny Doss
the second.
the
So it's
number
just two
two.
capital. It's just two capital
Oh, okay.
I's. Okay.
Okay, two cap the Roman numerals. Okay.
Yeah.
And when I repost, I'm gonna put your contact information in there. So that's
Okay.
Facebook. And then your Instagram is
My Instagram is boss underscore doss doss.
okay. That's the Instagram. So I'll
Yeah.
when I repost this, I will add that in there. And before we let you go, Kenny, of course, you gotta drop three nuggets on what you think is the recipe to success.
The recipe, my recipe to success is stay humble, um, stay encouraged, and stay surrounded by like-minded people who understand what you're
Yeah.
chasing and what's at stake.
Yeah. Yeah. And who respect what you're doing as
Yes,
well.
that
That's
plays a
that's
big,
awesome.
big
hmm
key.
hmm So I want to thank you, and I'm going to ask you here with my viewers to come back on later on, either at the later on this year or next year when you guys finish the court, and I'll come on and we'll do a live out there. How about
Okay.
that?
Yeah, yeah, that'll
Okay,
be great.
that'll be
We
dope.
hoping, yeah, we hoping to be up and running and have an event together. Do an event before the weather break, like late September. So if everybody
Okay,
could chime in and I'll keep you all posted.
keep me posted. I'll promote it on my platforms, and we'll come out there and I'll do a live. We'll do a ladies ball 2 live session with you. How about
Yes,
that?
I would really
All right.
appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Kenny, and keep doing what you're doing. You're out there balling.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
having me.
you.
I appreciate you.
No problem. I appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you guys I had a good show in store for you guys today. We had two tennis players, two student ballers. I can't even say lady ballers. We had a male baller on today. We had MacKenzie and we had Jackson on with their awesome father, who's supporting them and coming up with projects during COVID, like writing a book, right? So make sure you guys get that book. It's on Amazon, 25 Most Influential Tennis Players, Past and Present. It's a coloring book, but it also has some good information on how to play the game of tennis, what the rules are. So make sure you get it, especially during the U.S. Open. We're all out there watching, and we don't know the rules and stuff. So go get that book, and you'll be able to at least follow the rules during the U.S. Open. I know we're all watching Naomi. Also, we had Kenny on. He's doing some great stuff out in Chicago. Most of the time, all you hear about Chicago is the killings and the deaths and the crime rate. Here's a story that doesn't make you sad. This guy, along with his friends, his celebrity friends, are out doing things in the community, rebuilding basketball courts, putting out, giving girls prom dresses, going out mentoring young women and young ladies and guys, just keeping them trying to keep them on the straight and narrow path so that they don't become one of the statistics that you see on the news right now. So we got people out in Chicago that are doing great things. It's not just all about the death numbers and the crime rate. So keep an eye on Kenny Dawes too, Kenny Dawes II. He's doing some great things out there, guys, and I want to make sure we support him. And as I stated to him, we're going to once he gets that court done, we're going to go out there and we're going to do a live. And I promise him that, and we're going to do it. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to keep you posted. And that is my show for today, guys. That is lasted a little. We're wrapping up a little early, but I think that the information that we got in was enough to take you guys through the week. Before we get off, I want to thank all of you for your support. I want to thank within IMPR for their work behind the scenes. I want to thank my managers and sisters, which are my sisters, for doing what they do. I really appreciate it. I want to thank all of you for tuning in every week to watch me highlight these student athletes, to give them vision, and to highlight these people that are doing, these professionals, these entrepreneurs that are out here doing things in the community. And I want you guys to take a look at, make sure you take a look at my IG tomorrow or my Facebook. I'm going to be posting an article that I wrote about, that promotes this show. I didn't write it, I'm sorry. It was an article that the Chicago Citizen wrote about this show, letting people know what I'm doing on this show and when it comes on, and you know, the thought process behind it. So I'm going to post it tomorrow. If you want, you can go into the Chicago Defender and see I made the front page today, or just wait until tomorrow. I'll post it on my social media. So again, thank you guys. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
I'ma snatch they wigs till I see that scap. Booty claps, flying across the map. Lambo on the block, looking like a snack. I show you how I do it, show you how it's done. Don't look for another Missy, cause there be no another one. Watch me, do it back, 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 do it back, do it back, do it back, watch me, 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 do it back, do it back, do it back, do it back. Middle finger flip, get up off my tip. Money clip, Louis on my hip. Lambo be the whip, like banana split. Look at all my ice, see the way my jewelry drip. Come up off that dit. Yeah, he wanna kick it, but he cannot kick it unless he be my dit. Call me Missy Bit. I don't pay them digits, man, I'm so legit.